12, Castleford Tigers 30. Brilliant win this one for Danny McGuire. Don't look better with a bit of bulk in the front line. Luke Robinson, filthy. Ken Davey, filthy. This is a game that they would have felt that they could have had a proper dig at, especially with the side that they put out. However, we've got to remember a lot of these players like Wolford and Greenwood just coming back from injury. It's going to take them a few weeks to get up to speed. But that said, an 18-point difference will be very difficult to swallow indeed. I don't know about John Smith. If you don't get bodies, you'll just get bitter. And a few Huddersfield Giants fans were bitter in this one. And I think a lot of the reason for their bitterness was some of their D. Their defence was really bad. I mean, at times, it was as bad as a sloth on sedatives. It really was that bad for the Huddersfield Giants at times. But look, this was an interesting game. It was a real battle of the bottom, wasn't it? And Castleford shone through. A second win of the season for the Tigers. They will be delighted because Tom Amone finding his feet as well for the Castleford Tigers in this one. We're looking forward to seeing him on the magic stage next weekend. Look, let's go through the game. Starting with the opening score. It was too easy. Far too easy. And this is what I mean about poor defence from the Giants. What's Bibby doing? What is Bibby doing? He's more bothered about blocking the runner than actually attempting to catch the ball. Now, people will say it's Gagai's responsibility. And I get that. But actually, I thought Bibby was in a really good position to challenge for that ball. You don't turn your back. It just wasn't great. Brilliant kick. Got to be said, phenomenal kick, right on point. Sam Wood doing what Sam Wood does, collects it in the air, and one of the most simplest tries for Innis Senior that he will score this season. A very simple score for him. Wasn't it great to see Innis Senior back on the field? And then a moment of genius, absolutely wonderful try from the Huddersfield Giants. Adam Swift breaking the line like only Adam can. Off he goes, Gagai on the inside shoulder, and off goes Gagai for a score. And at that point, you're thinking, right, come on, Huddersfield. Let's see what you're about. The game was absolutely in the balance at that point. You know, a real good quality contest between these two sides. It was, a really good knock that at that point from Huddersfield, a really good response when they needed it. But then, of course, yet again, in comes Josh Sim. From hero to villain was Adam Swift jamming in on the left edge of defence, leaving a lot of field available for Sim, and in he went. I thought Mellor took his try well as well, 18-6 at half time, and you're thinking, this is probably going to be a bit of a struggle. Huddersfield need to strike first in the second half. For 20 minutes, it was a right, set to, wasn't it? Set for set, all the rest of it. But when you're seeing what was, let's be fair, in the end, the decisive try for me, the one that, the Innis Senior one, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. Innis Senior, of course, simple try, right after half time, that's where I was. Right after half time, not good enough. And then, of course, the second try in the second half of the Castleford Tigers, the Milne one, I was getting giddy there. That's too easy. This is what I mean about poor defence. You can't be allowing Rowan Milnes to put it under the sticks like that. That just simply isn't good enough. Luke Robinson at full time said, right, we only start to play when we're too far behind. I was pleased for Ollie Wilson. I think Ollie Wilson he's having a great season with the Huddersfield Giants. A massive don't argue on Tex Hoy. No doubt. In you go. Thank you very much. But it was a consolation try, 30 points to 12. Luke Robinson, filthy, and I can see why he's filthy. He put aside on that field, not necessarily good enough to win. I think, this was a proper, toss your coin at, before the game kicked off. But certainly a side that shouldn't be losing by 18 at home. And I would go as far as to say that. And I think that is why he's filthy. At times they start to play when the game is gone. It's a really odd one this season, is the Huddersfield Giants. They started the season really well indeed. An 86% tackle efficiency in this game. That ain't good enough. Over 50 missed tackles against Castleford. That ain't good enough. You compound that with 13 errors and 3 pens. You've got no chance. You've got absolutely no chance at all. And next week, they go up against Hull FC, who are in great form. Obviously, might not be with Herman SASA, but, you'd expect Hull FC to be right bang up for that. It's a massive test for the Huddersfield Giants. Just where do they go from here? I really don't know. I'm trying to be fair to them. They've had massive injury problems. And like I say, you can't judge the players coming back from injury too much on this game for the pure reason that they are still coming back from injury. But sooner or later, it's got to turn. There's a lot of ill feeling there. The move to Halifax and all the rest of it. It ain't good to see the Carbal Army in so much disarray. But now let's go to the forwards. I thought the forwards were outstanding. Really good. They can only beat what's in front of them. I thought they had a real good, solid knock. They look a lot better, don't they, with those middle units in the, down the middle. I think Rimbu had a good game as well. I thought Rimbu was a handful on the day for the Castleford Tigers. And I thought Asiad probably is best game of the campaign thus far for the Castleford Tigers. I'd have to go as far as to say that. Well, like I say, Simbakin's growing on me with every single game. They've got good wingers. Great to have his senior back. His brother should be back relatively soon. Sam Wood, how long is he going to be out? It looks a bad injury. He tried to wave off the physio. Didn't end up seeing out the game. Sam Wood, love Sam Wood. He's had some real bad injury problems, hasn't he, the last 12 months. Hopefully that shoulder knock isn't too bad. And then, of course, the Westerman one. Based on what we've seen this weekend, I think Westerman's a red. I really do. I think it's a red. Based on what we've seen, I'm happy it was a yellow, but based on the red cards that we saw at Headingley the day before, and I think this is the difference, isn't it, between what happened on Friday and what happens on Saturday. There's no consistency there. The Westerman one's poor. He's not rapping. It's clear, the player for me isn't ducking. It's a clear hit to the head. I don't see what the mitigation is. For me, he's off. That might upset some Castleford Tigers fans, and that could have had a massive bearing on the game as well. So for me personally, yeah, I think Westerman should have been red. What's your thoughts? You don't have to agree with me. Get in the chat. But for me, based on the Friday, that's a red card. Can anybody come out with any real praise for the Giants? Yeah, I thought Wolford was Wolford. He was scoring from dummy half, 6 dummy runs on the day, 32 tackles, 5 missed. Like I say, he'll grow back into the season as the season goes on. It's good to see him. Swifty, he'll be disappointed with his jamming in. But 19 carries, 156 metres, decent for him. Gagai, 144 from 17. I thought Gagai was perhaps maybe one of the better players. Wilson, again, 118 metres, 14 carries and a try. He had a great game, didn't he? Did Oliver Wilson. So, yeah, like I say, at the moment, there's individual performances of quality in there for Giants, but they're just not quite getting it right as a team unit. That's something they've got to really consider. As for the Castleford Tigers, well, many congratulations have got to go to them. I'm going to give a point to Assy. Like I say, I think Assy, for me, that was his best game of the season that I've seen for the Castleford Tigers this year. 2 good assists on the day. 93 metres, 13 carries, 7 tackle busts. Good effort, really, really good effort. There's been a lot of questions over Assy. Isn't it funny? Suddenly you get the likes of Desiree in your team, a Moan in your team, a Coro in your team, and you get a bit of go forward. And look at what happens with your backs, with your half backs. I thought he was really, really good indeed. Ron Mills also had a decent game, but I think Assy, this was perhaps his best Super League performance thus far, and possibly shows what we haven't seen up to now. But this is what I mean: half backs need good forwards in order to show their mettle, and Assy proved that without any real question for me, deserving of a point. The 2 points I'm going to give to Zach Sinney, came in this season for the Castleford Tigers. Didn't get any tries, but really liked his work in this one. He ran so hard, 10 tackle busts in this game, 114 metres from 20 carries. He was busy, he was at it. Really like what Sinney brought to the Castleford Tigers team. So for that reason, again, very similar to Assy, I think, these new signings, there's been questions. I think Sinney's been perhaps, well, definitely the better of those 2 thus far this season. But again, question marks around the recruitment policy of Castleford was there. But again, we saw what Sinney was about in this one. We know he's got a good leap. We know he can assist. We know he can score tries. But I really liked his work. 21 tackles in D as well. Only the 1 miss. So I'm going to give Sinney 2 points. And the 3 points I'm going to give to the returning man, Mr. Innes Senior. They do miss Senior. And Senior, 2 tries. You could argue, one of them very, very simple. And I get that. But it's his work ethic. 6 tackle balls. Again, back from injury. Not afraid of getting hold of the ball. 15 carries, 133 metres from him. He had 3 clean breaks in this game. He was brilliant on his return. Loving his Senior. I think he's a great player, and for me, that's why I'm going that way. When a player comes back from injury and produces a performance of that magnitude, I think you've got to say, do you know what, fair play, Mr. Senior, you can have the 3 points. And I say notes in dispatches to Rimbu. I thought Rimbu was very tidy. He got 102 metres from 10. He had a really good solid knock again on both sides of the ball. I thought Rimbu, again, another new signing for this season, looked better in this one as well for the Castleford Tigers. But yeah, they're me 3-2-1. Mellor as well. I like Alex Mellor, as you know. So that's where we're at. I mean, look, Castleford Tigers, you guys have got to be delighted with that. It's a really good, solid win. Wakey is going to be a big challenge for you at Magic Weekend. So we look forward to that one. And then, of course, as far as Huddersfield Giants are concerned, Hull FC, that's going to be a real test yet again. But we will look forward to it. But yeah, Castleford Tigers, a second win of the season. Are we surprised by that? Possibly not, if I'm being perfectly honest, but lots of head scratching. If you're a Cowbell Army fan out there, please continue to keep the faith with your side. We hope that first win isn't a million miles away. What do you know? You'll probably beat somebody like KR or Wigan and you'll be like, how did that happen? But yeah, we can but dream, can't we? Maybe go and get a technical dream coat like Jason Donovan used to do. Might be what you need. Anyway, there you go. 12 points to the Huddersfield Giants, but 30 to the Castleford Tigers at the John Smiths. We'll be back with more in the sheds later in the day.